One of the benefits of donating your time and abilities throughout the world is actually getting to travel and experience other cultures. Case in point, exposure to the cultures of India and Nepal. From its busy streets to beautiful temples, riverside cremations and ritualistic head shaving, open-air markets, and even elephant porters.
Ooh, I always have trouble with elephants.
Everything is a new experience, but that was only half the trip.
The next project took me up to the Himalayas via New Delhi and Kathmandu.
I can't even describe the sense of taking off and heading into the Himalayas.
Far from the capital of Kathmandu, Dr. Albert Repicci and 3 other team members boarded a helicopter and traveled to the small mountain village of Jarlung.
Came around the edge of a little mountain area and looked down below, and we saw a white H on a little landing spot on the edge of a sheer cliff. As we began to come down, what looked like an absolutely barren area, suddenly hundreds of people began to appear. They greeted us in a way that you can only reflect back on movies like Lost Horizon, where they put a garland around your neck and they give you the namaste and the welcome sign.
As romantic as their arrival was, Repicci's team realized that their work was cut out for them.
Our translator, Shani, told me that I was the first dentist that had ever been in this village.
This was our team up in, when we were up in Jarlung.
The team set up in a small hut with very little light and an unending waiting list. And like Repicci's prior trips, the highly trained professionals were reduced to performing the simplest of treatments.
Can't fix anything. No, can't fix anything. All you can do is, you know, these are basically pain relief clinics. You go in, you find out who hurts, you try to relieve it. Which tooth is giving him a problem? Can he show you? Without that flashlight, we've got no idea what we're doing. So dark in here today. They would hover around you so tightly that, you know, the body heat would become oppressive.
But one of the aspects that make the work so rewarding is the openness of the people.
Oh, good morning. What do you have for us here? Hot tea today? Good way to start the day. Thank you.
They make it a point to take extra special care of their visitors, be it a cup of hot tea or picking a handful of berries. The only running water was either a torrential downpour or a dip in the 33-degree water at the well about a mile down the trail. On the other side of the coin, one of the problems in situations like this, where so many people need help, is the feeling that not much can be done.
There would be people that would bring family members strapped on their back. I mean, that's the way the ill came. There are no ambulances and there are no cars. So you'd find a son carrying his father on his back, and he'd carry him for hours around another mountain range and up to see us, and, you know, lay him on a canvas, and you'd find that there really wasn't much you could do for him.
After observing the hardships these people had to endure, the lengths that they were willing to travel to help a family member, and in some cases their inability to help them, it would be difficult if it didn't start to affect you. And it wasn't long before one of Repicci's colleagues voiced his growing anxiety.
But he would anguish about that, and I told him, I said, you know, Bill, you forget how much being there and showing a sense of caring really counts for these folks. The fact that you looked at them and touched them and offered a moment of care, and what little medication would have helped, and whether it was, you know, for pain relief, from their standpoint, you know, that was enough.
But is it enough to risk traveling halfway around the world to one of the most remote locations on Earth with no support, limited supplies, and only the hope that you can possibly make a difference for at least a few minutes?
There's an old saying that go out on a limb, that's where the best fruit is.